What is a common thing in your country, but rare in others? Such cheap olive oil. And eating incredibly late. Lunch is more or less at 1-3 p.m. and dinner at 9-10 p.m. That is why in Spain we have snacks between foods. Isn't the reason for eating late having to do with an old dictator's rule or something? I remember reading about that. I think it's because they are in the wrong time zone for their longitude. Spain should be with the UK in GMT, but they share the same time zone as the rest of Central Europe, set GMT +1, because Franco wanted to be closer to Hitler. So everything in Spain simply functions an hour or two later than it normally would. Lunch at 2, dinner at 9 etc. Saunas in most apartments, or at least apartment buildings. Haven't lived in a building that doesn't have one. A lot of great well-known and underground metal bands. And a nuclear power plant that is at this point 11 years behind schedule. And according to Wikipedia the third most expensive building in the world. Too bad my apartment doesn't have a sauna, but there is luckily one I use nearby. Also el mayo al kilowatt. My apartment is a sauna 3 months out of the year. Bagged milk, legal weed and fermented maple syrup. Bagged milk was a mystery I loved in school. Lil square pouch and you just shank it with the straw and suck. Those were mini sips. Bagged milk was 3 bags, making up a gallon of milk, instead of cartons. Put them in a special holder, cut the corner with a little razor type cutter that stayed on the fridge with a magnet. Tax not included in advertised price. Lined above you does that too. Greetings from Canada. Had no idea this wasn't normal up until now tbh. I thought most Western societies did this, not just us Canadians and America. Poutine. God, am I you guys missing out on poutine? Seriously unhealthy, but also good for the soul. So is it really unhealthy? Yes. Yes it is. But you're still missing out. For those wondering, it's fries topped with gravy and cheese curds. From the people who eat maple syrup and apologize to Mounties for nothing, you're damn straight. Tiltable windows, apparently. First time I ever encountered a tiltable window, it was one that opened normally outwards, but the top tilted inward. It scared the crap out of me. I thought it was falling on top of me. That's so weird. Making them tiltable is so easy and so useful. I've never seen a window that can't do that in my country. Root drink. In America this is widely available and basically universally liked, but give it to someone from another country, especially a European country, and they will hate it. My brother-in-law is from Denmark and he says root drink tastes like their toothpaste. He hates root drink and can't understand why we love it so much. I wanna use his toothpaste. Pantomimes at Christmas. Real ale. Separate hot and cold taps. Mint sauce. Brown sauce. Thanking the bus driver with a cheers. Drive in my neck of the woods. Apologizing when someone else steps on your foot. Gotta be UK. Bingo. Another very British thing, I believe. In Mexico we experience paranormal stuff very close. Even people like me, who doesn't believe in it, have parents, siblings, children, or grandparents who have experienced ghosts or other entities very close. Not in the friend of my friend kind of way. It is really common to be in the same room, and someone just says, I saw my great grandfather coming out from the well, or stuff like that. And nobody makes a fuss about it. We just process it and move on. But really, I don't know anybody who hasn't experienced a close encounter with something paranormal in one way or another. And again, I'm an atheist and a skeptic. I haven't experienced something at first hand. And that makes me an exception, not the average. Also, the witches apparently live exclusively in your grandparents' rancho. People in ranchos believe owls turning to witches is real, but didn't believe COVID was real. SMH. B-Day, apparently. Also, the fact that every supermarket here has a section with fresh cold cuts, cheeses and bread-like products. Couldn't find a single one in California. Lunch break is an actual break, where you sit at a table and have a 2/3 course meal. People won't likely just eat a sandwich and get back to work. Sounds like every supermarket here in the States. Were you in a Sears? Milk dispensers at school cafeterias or restaurants, but it's not as common. I live in Sweden where food and drinks such as water and milk is provided free for students. Whenever I tell someone outside of Scandinavia that we have milk dispensers, they are always very surprised. We have milk dispensers at some buffet style restaurants here in the US. It's not common other than that, though. School cafeterias here usually give milk in a carton, and you have to pay for it, unless your family is poor. Apparently people are unusually friendly in the USA. I thought it was normal to say hello, or give a compliment to someone you pass on the sidewalk, but I guess not. This is a regional thing. In New York City you'd be ignored or assumed to be a complete lunatic. To be fair, New York City is kinda fricked. Sauna. As a Finn, and adding to this, most people know what a sauna is, and have some sort of an idea of what it is. However, according to different estimates we have anywhere between 2 million and 3,5 million saunas, while there are roughly 5,5 million Finns. I for one take a sauna 5-7 days a week, all year round. Absolutely. Perhaps I should have written, having a sauna in the home or easy access to a sauna. Public toilets. I was shocked to learn that there are many parts of first world countries that don't provide any public toilets at all. I had no idea until I traveled overseas. I took it for granted it would be the same as what my country provides, or that you have to pay to use a public toilet. When I go to my country I make sure I don't drink so much because there is only one public toilet. In addition you have to pay, and they hand you a small toilet paper. One time I carried my own wipes because my wide ass had to take a dump that day and knew the crap they were going to give me would leave me with a half wiped ass. I'm not actually sure if it's a world thing or if it's common in Eastern Europe overall, but the biggest motivation for people here in Lithuania is to not be seen as a little idiot. The people here aren't as social and rude to strangers, but if they see someone being mugged or w/e they'll immediately try to help. But it goes further than that. The thing that I feel embodies this the most is our lack of anti-maskers. Like people are very skeptical of them. But everyone wears a mask everywhere they have to wear one. Not because it's the right thing to do, or out of fear of COVID, or even out of fear of the very heavy fines we have for maskless idiots. The majority of the adult population here personally knows someone that's lived through either the Gulags or the Holocaust. While the current generation, talking 35-40 here, I feel like that's where the current adult/leading generation is, has still lived through a fair bit of the Soviet Union. The general consensus is that if you whine about a cloth mask, you're a worthless little idiot. That's the main reason everyone wears a mask. In other words, the unique thing is that our country's population is one big bully, but we are better off this way. My father is from Lithuania and I can confirm, learned from a very young age to not act like an idiot. It got better when I grew up a little. He kind of became a softie because of my mother. She's a sweetheart from Kazakhstan. We love to put fat in our bread and eat it, especially with some red peppers. If the fat is used to fry meat, in that before, just tastes better. Left square bracket question mark right square bracket. Tell me more. The pepper makes me want to say Hungary. Yep, it's Hungary. It's also common here to put poppy seed into some of our meals. It's not rude to blow your nose in public here. Also we call a kiss on the face pussy, which is pronounced as pussy. Underage drinking. I live in Belgium and everyone does it from the moment they're 14. Minimum age is 16. This is not exactly rare in the US either lol. Pretty sure tons of countries do this. I was a regular at the local pub at 14 over 15. No one cared that we were underage, as long as we didn't overdo it and cause trouble. People judging you for wearing something too revealing. Pretty common thing in any Muslim country. No, in here, even someone who's not a Muslim will judge you for wearing too revealing clothes. It's not about religion, it's about our moral code. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Apparently it's not a thing in other countries. Sickus. This is why you people be getting diabetes. Nah, JK. The day I discovered peanut butter jelly sandwiches with banana was the day I felt love for the first time. Ha 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 ha. I was 14 and was visiting Canada with an American friend. For breakfast she made one sandwich like that, and I was like, WTF is that stuff? She gave me a bite, and went back to my home country and kept on preparing them. Amazing stuff. Good work, gringos. Arranged marriages are anachronisms, and perceived as uncivilized as best and unconscionable at the worst. The immutable caste system is somewhat reminiscent of Europe's indentured servitude and the class system before it was abolished, but it's so entrenched in our society that even religious distinctions are made to further segregate people. Literal institutional racism, as in, written into the law, enforced, fact of life, and all that. I'm not talking about the user style, where it's a grey area we are technically doing it, but there's no formal law. Or like China, we are gonna use whatever excuse to persecute you, but technically, according to the law, we aren't racist, and there's no law or wording differentiating a certain race above another. We are talking, you can't do this because you aren't the correct race. The correct race gets a different court of law. Specific properties are strictly for this race. I don't care how rich you are, you're not this race, you're not buying it. Specific schools are for this race and closed to all other races. There's a quota for universities reserved for this race. I don't care how exceptional you are, you're only getting into this uni after the quota has been filled up. It is written into law that every company needs to hire a specific number of this race and special concessions are to be made for this race. Government contracts, civil positions, benefits are near exclusive to this race. Real seminars and classes in uni to teach that race, to marry different race women to integrate them, especially in teaching courses where you influence the next generation. Also, polygamy is allowed for this specific race. Other races' radios have a segment for this race's language. This race's radio channels are purely this race's language. This specific race gets to use this glaring loophole as a tax evasion method. Everyone needs to observe this race's religious morals. I don't care if you're not a part of this religion. We can literally throw you in jail for breaking our religious morals if we feel like it. You get into legal trouble if you actually talk about this in the media, unless you're a certain race. But if you're benefiting from this system, why would you? I can go on and on and on.